have a sleeping bag.
Whoa.
Yes, sir. Go in there.
I like the way we're listening.
Oh, yes, me too.
Blow a bubble. Emilio, put your shirt down. Put your shirt down. Blow a bubble. Blow a bubble. Blow a bubble. We're gonna raise our hand when we're gonna answer something. No, you're no sweater right now. Blow a bubble. Okay? Blow a bubble. I have to record it so I put my camera on. If you want to, like this there. Okay, sorry. So when we want to answer, what do? We raise our hand and we wait until I call your name, okay? Okay?
Coach?
No, we're not going to coach it.
Music?
Blow a bubble, Kevin.
We're going to music?
Ay, niño.
Who remembers what we did last week with the pumpkin that Miss Gonzalez was cutting? You need to raise your hand and wait until you need to raise your hand and wait until I call your name. Romeo? She carved a pumpkin. And what was she doing with the pumpkin? Can somebody remember? Somebody remember? Angel? Wait until I call your name. Did I call your name? No, okay.
They got the seeds.
There were seeds in there? Oh, that's right. What else was inside the pumpkin? Raise your hand and wait until I call you. Liam? What was inside the pumpkin? Angel already said, Angel, get up. There were seeds inside the pumpkin. What else was inside the pumpkin? Raise your hand. Emma? She cut triangles. Good job in the eyes, right? She made triangles with the eyes. Good job, Emma. Raise your hand until I call you. Haley, what else? The nose. Good job. And what else was inside the pumpkin? There was already seeds. We already said seeds. What else? There was something else inside the pumpkin.
Stuffy.
Wait until I call your name. Did you raise your hand? No. Okay. Emilio?
Cut them out.
She cut them out. But what was inside the pumpkin? Yes, she did cut them out. But there was things inside the pumpkin. What was inside the pumpkin? There was seeds and there was something else. Catalea?
There was
What did Ms. Gonzalez say earlier? That when you raise your hand, you already have an answer, right?
to make a pie.
What's inside? We use it to make a pie. That's right. That is right. It's called pulp. It's called pulp. Pulp. Can somebody remember something else? Raise your hand. Raise your hand and wait until I call your name. And you need to have an answer, okay? You need to have an answer.
Pie.
Scarlett?
Apple pie. Apple pie.
I can't hear you. You need to be louder.
It's up.
Hmm?
It's up.
She cut out a top. That's right. Good job, guys. And you know we're gonna learn more about pumpkins. Okay? We're gonna learn more about pumpkins and we're gonna read about pumpkin jack. Blow a bubble and we're gonna listen. It's time to listen. Yeah. It's time to listen. Blow a bubble. I said it's time to listen. We're listening, not talking. Okay? Blow a bubble. Pumpkin jack. What is this? What is the front?
Front cover.
And what,
Back cover.
and what is this?
Side.
Good job. And it was written and illustrated by Will Hubble. Pumpkin jack. That looks like the one Miss Gonzalez carved last week, huh? It does. Pumpkin jack. When Tim carved his first pumpkin, it was fierce and funny and just perfect. A jack-o'-lantern this good deserved a name, so Tim gave it to him. Jack. I need to pay attention and listening, okay?
so mean.
You see how he's doing? He's doing a triangle like Miss Gonzalez did last week. Look, to cut out the eyes.
Like you.
Blow a bubble, let's listen. Long after the best trick-or-treat candy was eaten, Tim still kept Jack. At night, when a candle made Jack's face dance on the wall and filled the dark with warm pumpkin smells, Tim felt Jack was almost magic. Yet too soon, the spell was broken. Look at the pumpkin, it has a light inside. It looks like a lamp.
Yeah, there's a lamp. Yeah.
This pumpkin is beginning to rot, announced Mom. It's time to throw it out. Tim knew it was useless to argue. He carried Jack to the garden, which was filled with brown ghosts of last summer's plants. We're gonna find out if you listen.
Okay.
A dead garden is better than a trash can, though, Tim. Still, it made him sad to leave Jack outside and alone. Look, he had to throw Jack outside because it was getting old. It wasn't good anymore, so he had to throw it out. It was time to throw it out. Whenever chores or play brought Tim to the garden, he looked at Jack. Every time, Jack was different. He became wrinkled and his fierce smile began to look silly. Look, it doesn't look the same. It's changing. Look, it's getting wrinkled. Look, the skin is not the same. That's why Miss Gonzalez had to throw away the pumpkin. Yeah, it was getting old. Mold spread over Jack's bright orange skin. As the days turned colder, Jack grew flatter. Look, it's getting smaller. You see, it's not round anymore. You see how it's changing?
Yeah. This is why. Right.
Let's listen. Winter began. Soon, Jack was hidden beneath snow, and Tim forgot about him. The cold, heavy jacket days came. Snowmen and sliding days. Indoor days. Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Valentine's. When all these days had passed and the March winds melted the snow, Tim found Jack. Look, there's snow. I know it doesn't snow here a lot.
It's not.
It doesn't snow here that much. But is it always cold?
No.
No, it's not always cold, right? We have different temperatures, different times of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is winter. When it snows, it's winter.
This winter. And you use sweater.
And you use a sweater, good job. There wasn't much left, just a faded and crumpled pumpkin skin, a stem, and a few seeds. Jack's Halloween magic was a distant memory now. Tim scraped a thin blanket of earth over the last bits of pumpkin. Goodbye, Jack, he whispered. This is all that was left of Jack. Look, just the skin, the wrinkled skin that changed color, and these little seeds. That was it. There's no more Jack. When spring, we're gonna learn. When spring turned barefoot warm, a tiny sprout appeared where Jack had been. Tim found it and guessed what it was. So it was springtime. Does anybody know what springtime is?
Yeah.
Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Romeo? When it's sunny. Good job. And look at the little sprout. I wonder what that is. I wonder what's growing there. And that, let's listen. We're going to listen and we're going to learn.
Look what you're doing with the pumpkin.
In the days that followed, Tim weeded and watered and watched the sprout. Slowly and steadily, the plant changed and grew. It branched and spread a web of vines over the ground, but no pumpkin appeared. Look at all these vines. Look, these are vines. They're growing. All this green, they're called vines, and they're growing. I don't know. We're gonna wait and see. We're gonna finish reading the book. And what is he doing here?
Water.
Water. Why do you think he's putting water? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Lucas?
Because he wants to grow the pumpkin.
So it can grow. We'll see. We're gonna see what happens. The days turn hot. Flowers open on the plant each morning. Yellow stars that twisted shut forever in the afternoon. Still, there were no pumpkins. Still no pumpkins, just flowers. I wonder if a pumpkin's gonna come or not. Finally, Tim found a little green ball growing behind a crumpled blossom. A pumpkin, Tim let out a whoop and ran to show his mom. By August, the plant had spilled onto the lawn. Tim's favorite game became pumpkin hunting. He carefully waded around among the leaves, searching for green pumpkins like hidden treasures. Green pumpkins? I didn't know pumpkins were green. Did you know pumpkins were green? Let's wait. We're gonna see what happens. School began again and the days cooled.
I see the pumpkin. See the pumpkin.
Blow a bubble. Tim had less time to visit the garden. When he did, the pumpkin plant seemed tired. There were few new leaves and the old tattered ones no longer hid the fat green pumpkin. Then, one October morning, Tim woke to see frost coating the garden. The frozen plant seemed changed to pale blue grass. I wonder why it's changing. Why are the leaves changing color?
Snow.
Oh my gosh, let's see what happens. After school, Tim discovered what the frost had done. The pumpkin plant's leaves were as limp as wet paper. It was dying. Tim searched among the withered leaves for the unripe pumpkins. He picked them and put them on the front porch, hoping for more change. Look at what happened. What are these? Pumpkins. All these pumpkins.
Giant.
They're big. By Halloween, the pumpkins had ripened to bright orange. There were many, for the plant had been generous. Tim was generous too. He gave away all but one. What did Tim do here? He likes sharing, and it's nice to share, right? He shared his pumpkin with his friends. That's really nice of Tim. That's really nice to share. From jack-o'-lantern to seed to pumpkin again, the circle was almost complete. Now it was time for Tim to do his part. He gave his pumpkin a face. It smiled at him in a fierce and funny way. Tim smiled too and said, "Welcome back, Jack." Look, Jack was back.
Yay.
He grew a new pumpkin and he named it Jack again. The end. Now we're gonna review our book, okay? I want y'all to think about what we read, okay? Because I'm gonna ask you questions, okay? I want you to start using your brain, okay? Start using your brain because I'm gonna ask you questions about what happened in our book, okay? But I'm gonna use a poster, okay? We have things that grow at different times of the year, okay? We're gonna use this board. And look what I have here. I'm gonna show you this first. Yeah, I'm gonna put it on the floor. I'm gonna put it on the floor so it doesn't fall.
I can't see it.
This is my.
I can't see it. I can see it.
Okay, let me open it up a little bit more.
I can see it.
Okay. I'm gonna raise your hand, okay, and wait till I call your name. What do you think these are?
See.
Did y'all wait?
Did y'all wait? Raise your hand.
You have to wait until I call you, okay? I like how Lucas is waiting for me to call on his name. Good job, Lucas. What are these, Lucas? What do you think they are?
Seeds.
Yeah, they're seeds, but what kind of seeds do you think they are?
Brown.
Brown seeds. They're brown. They're kind of brown. But they're about what we're reading. I wonder what they are.
Me too.
I'm gonna show you. Romeo?
Oh, seeds from pumpkin.
Good job. These are pumpkin seeds. Can y'all see them?
Yeah. Oh.
It's okay. These are pumpkin seeds. You see them?
Yes.
Can you believe that a pumpkin comes out of this little seed? Yeah?
Yeah.
Huh.
Wow. I wonder how that happens. How does that happen? How does a pumpkin come from this little seed? We're gonna review our book and we're gonna learn. Okay? Pumpkin jack. Do you know that things grow at different times of the year? When Tim first got his pumpkin, what did he name it?
Jack.
Jack. Good job. I'm gonna paste this here.
The Jack of the
He named it Jack. And you raise your hand, okay?
Okay.
And do we know what time of the year that it grew? It grows at a time of the year when it starts getting a little cold. It's called. Do you know what it's called?
Yeah.
Raise your hand. Raise your hand until Emilio.
October.
Oh, good answer. Good job. But it's October. But it's called fall. It's called fall. It's a time of the year when it's called fall and it starts getting cold, cold, cold. And that is when Tim got his pumpkin jack. And then what else happened? Tim thought that the candlelight made Jack seem magical. When he put the light inside the pumpkin, that's, and we're gonna put this right here. We're under the fall time of the year. And then, what happened to Jack when Halloween was over? What did Tim do to the pumpkin? What did he have to do to Jack? Raise your hand and wait until I call you. Raise your hand, sit down. Sit on your bottom. I like how Angel is waiting until I call his name. Angel, what happened to Jack after Halloween?
Throw it away.
He had to throw it away because it was getting rotten.
Yeah.
Do you know what getting rotten is? It means it's going bad.
Yeah.
It's going bad, so we have to throw things away. When food is going bad, we have to throw it away. So that's what happened. He had to throw it away. And then Jack, his skin started to wrinkle. The pumpkin, the skin outside, like this skin, it started to wrinkle when it was outside.
Yeah.
And that happened in the fall time of the year. That happened in the fall.
Oh, it's so cracked.
And then I'm gonna tell you a few and then you're gonna answer a few, okay? I'm gonna help you out. And then Jack began to mold and his body became flat. Flat, like it was like squished like that. It was flat.
It's so squishy.
It was squished out. Because his skin wasn't hard anymore. His skin changed, so it wasn't hard anymore. Chatalia.
And he's like a pancake.
He was like a pancake. Good job. Good observation. Blow a bubble. Blow a bubble. Blow a bubble. 1, 2. And then, what happens when it gets really cold? Raise your hand and tell me. Raise your hand and wait until I call your name. What happens when it gets really cold? What is that? Right? Brooklyn? We're supposed to have our answer when we raise our hand, right? Okay, counts. Somebody help her. Raise your hand. Somebody help her. What is it when it gets really cold? What happens when it gets really cold? Julian. Okay. So when we raise our hand, we're supposed to have an answer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Romeo. It's called winter. And that Jack was hidden beneath snow. Because the snow covered it. Look.
And look, it's falling.
It's okay. I'm going to fix it. Thank you. Look. Jack was hidden beneath the snow because that's the winter time. Oh, it's falling. It's falling. It's okay. I'm gonna fix
I
it.
see what's falling.
It's okay. I'm gonna fix it. Don't worry.
It's like a,
Don't worry.
it's like this.
And then Tim covered Jack's seeds with soil. These little seeds, you know what Jack did to them?
Yeah.
He covered them. Have you gone to the garden that's out here? Not yet. When you put little seeds and then you put a little bit of,
Water.
you water it and then they start growing. They start growing.
And then you need to
You have to put
you need
water
to
in
put
it
them-
so they
you need
start
to
growing.
dig and dig
You
and dig.
dig and you put them inside and then they
Yeah,
start growing.
and you need to-
Good job on him.
I saw.
Blow a bubble. Blow a bubble. It's okay. I'm gonna fix them.
It's okay.
It's okay. Don't worry. I'm gonna fix them.
You gonna fix it?
I'm gonna fix
It's
it.
gonna move it.
It's okay. I probably. It's okay. Nothing happens. I fix it.
Yes, I know.
It's okay. Don't worry. I'm gonna fix it.
Okay.
Liam knows.
And then when you put the little seed and you plant it and you put water, a little sprout grows. This is a sprout. It's really, really, really little. Really, really little. Blow a bubble. Blow a bubble. And then, what did I show you that was green and long? Remember that I told you?
Bye. Bye.
Raise your hand. We need to raise our hand. We need to raise our hand and wait until I call your name. No, I don't touch her. I like how you're waiting for me to call on your name. That's really good. Thank you. Thank you for waiting. Kevin, what is it called? I can't hear you. Somebody, can we help our friend?
Yeah.
Emilio? Starts with a. Somebody said it earlier. No. Romeo? Vine. Good job. Blow a bubble. We need to listen. And then it started to get hot. It wasn't cold anymore. It wasn't cold anymore. It started to get a little hot. Just a little bit. Not, well, actually really hot. What is that time of the year when it gets really, really hot? Do we know? It's, and there's no school during this time of the year.
No.
Can we raise your hand?
Yeah.
Liam Perez? It's called Angel?
Sunny.
Sunny, good, well, good job. It's really sunny, but it's called summer. And in the summer, the vine, it started to get so hot and then it blossomed and it began to bloom. The little flowers started to come out.
Yeah.
And then there was a tiny pumpkin vine. And then, do you remember, raise your hand, do you remember what color the pumpkin was when it was growing? When it was starting to grow? When it was, Emma? Do you remember? Do you remember what color it was? It wasn't always orange. It was green. Good job, Emma. You're paying attention when we were reading.
It's my fault.
Liam, go back to your square.
What?
It was green. That's right. The leaves no longer, it says, the leaves no longer hide the pumpkins. The pumpkins were starting to come out and they looked green. Good job. And then Tim hunted for the unripe pumpkins.
I know.
I wasn't asking a question this time. I was just telling you. And this happened during the fall time. Then what did Tim do with all his pumpkins that grew? What did he do with his friends? Raise your hand and wait. Raise your hand and wait until I call on you. Okay? You have to wait. I like how you're waiting. Thank you. You're doing a really good job.
Thank you.
Luciana, what did he do with the pumpkins with his friends? You remember that it's nice for us to do with our friends? Share. He shared his pumpkins. Look, Tim shared most of his pumpkins with his friends. That's really nice to share. It's really, really nice. And what happened at the really end? Who came back? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Who came back at the really end?
I know.
Shh, we have to wait.
I know.
We have to wait. Delia.
Oh,
Jackie,
Delia.
good job, Delia. Good job. And you know what happens? It takes time to grow a pumpkin. Look, all fall passed, winter passed, springtime passed, summertime. Okay, thank you. It's okay. Blow a bubble. It's okay. Thank you. And then a whole year passed, and then a pumpkin grew. It took a whole year from this little seed. It's okay. It's okay. Shh. Okay, thank you. This little seed, it took a whole year for it to turn into a big orange pumpkin. Thank you. Thank you, Kevin.
Oh!
It's okay. Thank you. So now you know how pumpkins grow. I'm gonna fix them. It's okay. Now we know how pumpkins grow, okay? Now it's time to work on our activities, okay? It's time to work on our activities, okay? Kevin, everybody in Kevin's table. Kevin's table. Douglas, your table. Douglas, your table. Haley, go to your table. Go to the restroom, Israel. Al baño. Lucas' table. Lucas' table. And Liam's table. Let's go to our tables. Liam Perez, come over here. Good job. You have to wait until I show you what we're doing. This is our pumpkin. Do you remember how the pumpkin grew? It's orange. Wait a minute. I'm going to give it to you. I fixed it.
Those begin with the C. These do not begin with the C.
Leave them alone. I'm gonna wait. We're gonna color them first, but we're gonna learn how. What did we learn about the pumpkins? What happens first with the pumpkin? What do we need first?
We need to plug it in the pot.
What do we need first with the pumpkin? I showed you.
You're gonna write the title first.
And you see the water?
Oh, we need water. Good job.
We need water.
Good job. We need water.
And then you decorate them like that.
But what do we need first for a pumpkin to grow?
Right here.
Look, this is how I want you to work. This is what we need to do. So I need you to color it orange first. I need you to color the pumpkin orange first. Color the pumpkin orange first. Good job. Pick an orange color. Good job. You're gonna start with this. I need you to color the orange, the pumpkin orange first. Come here. Leave that pencil. So do it like that. Put that pencil back here.
It's orange.
I need you to color the pumpkin orange.
Like a circle. And you
saw green.
Good job. No, I didn't say write your
And then
name.
we're
I said
gonna put them in order
Okay.
of how a pumpkin grows. Put it down, put it flat. See?
Like that. Make all C's.
No, no, here.
How flat? Right here?
This, color it orange.
Right
This is the
here?
pumpkin.
Right here?
Yes, color it orange. Start, Jamia.
I color here.
That, what color is that? That color right there, it's green, right?
Oh,
This
it's
part
green,
is
it's
green.
Ustedes fueron al baño, Douglas, Luciana.
But I need
Red. No, you don't need red.
it's
Sí, yo niños.